Umpqua Community College is located in Roseburg, Oregon, in the North Umpqua River Valley. The student population for the 2017-2018 academic year was around 13,000. UCC is home to one of the first viticulture and oenology programs in Oregon and is called the Southern Oregon Wine Institute. The average age at the college is 29.8 years old. The top majors are Associate of Arts, Nursing, General Studies, and Human Services. The first college courses were offered in 1961, and the cost was $5 per term and $11 per credit. The campus is located on 98.5 acres of land donated by Elton and Ruth Jackson. Prior to campus construction, it was a piece of farmland. Roseburg, Oregon is located in Douglas County, which is known for its wildlife, waterfalls, mountains, and lakes. There are many parks in Roseburg, as well as a shopping mall and numerous restaurants. Roseburg is known for its rogue pear industry, flower bulbs, and hops. It is referred to as the timber capital of the nation. The climate in Roseburg is a typical Oregon climate, cool and rainy winters, and hot and dry summers. The largest employers are Roseburg Forest Products and Mercy Medical Center. After the police arrived at the school, a student came forward informing that they had run into the men's bathroom to seek cover and found a black duffel bag in one of the bathroom stalls. Next to the black duffel bag was a rifle, and inside were large amounts of ammunition. 4 hours after the shooting, Roger's mom was interviewed. When officers arrived at the apartment Roger shared with his mom, they couldn't help but notice how messy their apartment was. Because the apartment was in such disarray, and Roger and his mother had a countless number of weapons, she couldn't even tell the investigators which guns were missing. As investigators interviewed Roger's mother, they started to see an image of a very troubled person. Roger was born on July 26, 1989 in Torrance, California. His mother made the comment that Roger was, quote, born angry. Even the doctor said when he was born that Roger was an angry baby. His father, a native of England, wasn't around a lot, leading to his parents' divorce when Roger was just a toddler. When Roger was young, he would have explosive tantrums, so volatile that his mother would have to put him in a bear hug until he calmed down. When asked if his mom could think of anything that would indicate Roger would do anything of this sort, she could only think of a time when he was 4 or 5 years old, when he opened the car door as his mother was driving down the freeway. This obviously upset and scared his mother, but this was the only time she could remember Roger exhibiting excessively odd behavior. As a juvenile, he did get in trouble for throwing an object at another student. While we don't know what that object was, Roger received a short term of probation and court-ordered community service. In 2008, Roger decided to join the United States Army. He attended basic training at Fort Jackson in South Carolina. After 5 weeks, he was discharged, as he failed to meet the standards necessary for basic training. Some reports say he was discharged due to a suicide attempt. However, this has not been confirmed. After he returned home from South Carolina, he was so upset about being dismissed from the Army, he had pointed a shotgun at his mother when she attempted to ask him what happened. Although this scared his mother, she never reported it to the police, as Roger almost immediately calmed down. In 2009, Roger graduated from the Switzer Learning Center, a school for students with learning and emotional disabilities. From 2010 to 2012, he went to El Camino College in Torrance, California. In 2013, Roger and his mother moved to Winchester, Oregon, where his mother had found employment as a nurse at the Douglas County Jail. As a point of note, she was not working at the jail at the time of the shooting. Both Roger and his mother were looking forward to moving to Oregon, as they both had interests in firearms, and the state had relaxed firearm laws. Oftentimes, Roger would be seen open carrying a handgun. While Roger did not have a job in Oregon, he would sell his video game systems for money in order to purchase more weapons. He would also purchase them with money his mother had given him from time to time. All of the firearms were bought legally. His mother said Roger had his own computer in his bedroom, and about a month prior to the shooting she found a bucket he had been urinating in, so he didn't have to get up to go to the bathroom. Since moving to Oregon, Roger's father never attempted to contact him. All birthdays and holidays went by without even a phone call, and his mother became Roger's best friend. Similar to many of the shooters we cover, Roger was a loner as he had trouble connecting with people. It seemed to him that he was always on the outside looking in. Change had always been hard for Roger, as he was not spontaneous at all. A neighbor who lived in the apartment below Roger and his mother said that Roger was very unfriendly. After moving to Oregon, Roger enrolled at UCC. He never performed well at school and was put on scholastic probation as his grades had fallen below average. Both Roger and his mom became members of the Roseburg Rod and Gun Club and enjoyed spending time at the shooting range. When investigators spoke with Roger's fellow students, they were informed that Roger always wore the same outfit: combat boots and army green pants. Whenever a classmate tried to engage in communication with Roger, he never spoke about his life. He only ever talked about guns, regardless if the listener wanted to hear it or not. Roger had an online dating profile that stated his interests were the internet, killing zombies, movies, especially horror movies, music, and reading. His mom reported he had Asperger's syndrome and mental problems. However, it is unclear if he was ever actually diagnosed. As mentioned in the beginning of the episode, Roger had handed another student, Matthew, an envelope that contained a USB drive. The manifesto was 6 pages long, and he wrote about his sexual frustration, as well as living an isolated life. He also made mention of how he hated fads like smartphones and skinny jeans. He also appeared to be against technology. It took less than 6 minutes for police to arrive, and the UCC students, staff, and administration were very appreciative of the quick response from the authorities. There was no telling how many lives were saved because of it. The campus reopened the Monday after the shooting, and classes resumed a week later. In a later press conference by Sheriff John Hanlon of Douglas County, he said he refused to use the shooter's name and wouldn't give him credit for this horrific act. President Barack Obama ordered that the flag be flown at half-staff in memory of the victims the day after the shooting. On the 1-year anniversary of the shooting, a private gathering was held to unveil a memorial in front of the Pacific Power Operations Center, and it's open to the public. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Active Shooter, the podcast. Remember, if you see something, say something. There's no telling how many lives you may be saving.
Active shooter, reports of an active shooter
with mass casualty incidents.
Make sure to check us out on social media. We have a discussion group on Facebook. Just search for Active Shooter, the podcast discussion group. You can also find us on Instagram at Active the Podcast and Twitter at Podcast Active. For just $1 a month, you can get access to ad-free episodes, early release episodes when available, and a shout-out on the show. Just go to patreon.com/Active the Podcast. Thank you, and be safe.